Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dharma practitioners, there was a young couple and they had a very comfortable, luxurious life. Somehow, by the time the husband thought, this life is useless, I want to become a monk. So then one day he went to his wife and asked permission. So the wife told, it's up to you and whatever you like, so you go for it. So then he became a monk. Then wife married with another man. So then they start to live a happy life. So this monk start to practice meditation and go village to village. By the time after a few years, he came back to the same village and start to go Pindapat, that begging for food. And then the wife saw, and not only that, her husband also, this new husband also saw this monk. And then they afraid. They thought, oh, this man came to our village. Now in case if he come to our house and see this wife again, and he may remind his past. And the wife also start to thought, oh, if he start to see me, he will come here and stay. Then this new husband, I have to struggle with this both and I have to fight with him maybe. So then this is going to become a big problem. So somehow both of them discuss and then found a gangster in that area and told, this monk, it disturb us. It disturb our marriage life. So then they told to kill this monk. They gave the order to this gangster. So by this monk used to practice meditation close by in the forest. So by the time one day at night, this gangster with another group of his followers, his gangsters, went to this monk and told, so we came to kill you. So the monk asked, I didn't do any wrong and I didn't disturb to any of you. Why you do this? So then this thief told, this is the reason that your previous wife, remember, that live in that place, and she and her new husband and gave this order and to kill you. So the monk told that I understand their fear. So can you give few more hours? By the morning you can kill me. So the thief thought this monk going to escape. And then this monk told, no, I'm not going to escape. I'm going to do meditation. And I need only few hours. And then by the morning, early in the morning, before sunrise, you can kill me. So this thief thought about it, that whoever going to die, that is his last wish. And still even the high court also sometimes, they always try to fulfill people's last wish then when they're going to die. So this thief also told, okay, then how you can prove that you're not going to escape from us. So this monk told there was a huge piece of rock and told, bring it here. And then the monk sat and himself, he dropped that piece of rock to his own legs and chopped it. And then this thief and his followers were shocked. And the monks start to practice meditation. And by early in the morning, he attained to the enlightenment. And then that all the thieves and his followers, and seeing this, and transformed themselves to good people and became followers of that monk. And then these thieves also attained to the enlightenment, and then by the time the monk passed away. So this story tells us, remember, it doesn't matter who you are, that what you love, even though it brings you the cherished, the pleasant moments, the lovely moments, happiness, comfort, remember, there is a huge risk. And it is not a negative way of thinking about what we love, that you seeing clearly and you see through the layers and what is underneath. So even though you love, remember you have a great risk. Why? Because anytime it can come against you. It doesn't matter how much you love. So as you know, look at the world, still there are things happening. Still that people do it not because of something else. They do because they love you. The same thing happened to us also. So what you love, it doesn't matter, physical, material, even our own emotional things, our own ideas can sabotage us. So that is a great danger. But the thing is this, when you able to develop your mind with the Dharma, look at that monk, hearing that his previous wife, that when he was a layperson, and during that time that wife and the new husband, and trying to kill. And even that monk didn't have any kind of anger or the hatred or that kind of mindset. So then when you develop your mind, what will happen? In case something happen in your life journey, you will never go into that side. You will never go into unprofitable way of actions. You always going to the profitable way. You always going towards the right path. That is the beauty of your transformation. So that is why you need to learn the Dharma. Otherwise, we become kind of like dogs. When one dog start to bark, that other dog also start to bark. And then they start to bite. They start to fight each other. So we the same sometimes. When someone else hate us, we also hate back. When somebody angry regarding us, we also become angry regarding them. So that is a very animal behavior. So when you practice the Dharma, remember you will never go into the side. You always going to be with the light. You always going to be with the right path. So that will be your great protection for today, for tomorrow, for your entire samsaric journey. Once your mind, once your consciousness able to recognize that, Once you start to take that kind of decisions again and again and again, being with the right path, remember that going to become the greatest blessing that you can accumulate to your future. Because then out of you, no one going to get hurt. And at the same time, it going to become the protection for you. So otherwise in day-to-day life, we get the protection out of many things. But our own behavior, our own choice, our own action, when it become the protection to you, that going to become the most strongest and powerful protection. So when it come to our ordinary life, we always have the desires. So we cannot get out of it. And it's called the defilement. It's kind of like the DNA and the atoms that we build up out of the defilement. So when it comes to that, there are two ways. It's called vastukama and klesakama. So it's the vastukama is kind of like the objective sensuality, and the klesakama is subjective sensuality. So you have to understand this both. And sometimes we get out of the objective sensuality and we stay away from all these material things. And but still, we become so comfortable and we become so nourished, safe with the subjective sensuality. So when it comes to the moment of awareness, the clarity or the sati sampajanya or the clear comprehension, or one point that one pointedness, and when you able to stay with the moment of experience, what happening, this both defilements, subjective or objective, both defilements become powerless. So that is why the most safe place to keep your mind not with any kind of subjects or objects and being in the moment. When you come to the moment of experience, in that very moment what is happening, you able to recognize that whatever you experience, inner, outer, both, the change. When you're able to come to that experience, that all this collective nature start to go away. So when it comes to this subjective and objective sensuality, it is very important to understand, because the desire or the lust facilitate always with this defilement. So when it comes to objective defilement, that the sensuality, the objective sensuality means whatever you see, hear, smell, taste, feel from this outside world as perception. And the subjective reality, how you facilitate and how you settle down with your mind. There are 10 kind of the subjective that the sensualities, klesha kama. So the klesha means mental formations. So one is greed. It is a mental quality. It is not a material. Nothing to do with material. The greed is a mental quality. Remember that. So, and sometimes even that you become homeless and you become a beggar, very poor, but the greed going to be there, so strong. It's nothing to do materially become rich or less. So that's why you have to remember that maybe we work with the material things in a very nice way. We become very successful with dealing with material world. but we don't see that how the subjective sensuality or the subjective defilement become stronger inside us. So if you don't see it yourself, how you can get out of this? Maybe you will get out of this entire world and become alone, and maybe you will be a naked sadhu like in India, and you just live with very simple life. The materially you don't need anything, but mentally, if your greed is so strong, remember, you are not giving things away. So then you have to remember to reduce the greed. So the greed is a mental quality. So that's why it called this the klesha kama, or the subjective sensuality. So then you have to work for that. It is a mental quality, and then you have to develop the mental quality within that, the recognizing the generosity, and at the same time seeing the danger of the greed. So that is a wisdom, recognizing the danger of the wisdom. So once you remind it again and again and again, what will happen? Little by little, you will purify yourself mentally. Another one is the hate. So that also very dangerous. So that also you have to reduce, bringing the opposite side of the mental quality, like loving kindness, compassion, and at the same time, recognizing the danger. This is the very important part. Recognizing the danger of the hate. So the recognizing the danger of the greed, why? It can take you to any dangerous situation at any time. And even by the time you living and after you die. It can take you to the very, very lower existence. And so then why you have to get into that unnecessary risky situation and the hate? And you should know it is a very dangerous for you, not for others. And the physically, it can make you sick. And at the same time, not only by this lifetime, after you die, if you die with that hate, remember, you have no idea where it can take you. And the delusion, the moha or the not knowingly reasons. So that also a mental quality, and that also subjective sensuality. Maybe you are very generous with the outside world, but you don't develop enough wisdom to recognize how things come to be as they are, and especially recognizing the very nature of the world, and recognizing the truth of the world. You don't want to see about it. You earn, and then at the same time you enjoy, and you find the security yourself, and maybe you become generous also. But remember, that not going to enough for you. So the third subjective, that subjective sensuality is the delusion. And the fourth one, conceit, is the mean that is a kind of like that yourself, you have the fanciful ideas. It's a kind of like egocentric, fanciful ideas yourself. So, and the fifth one, that ditti. So when it comes to ditti, speculative views, so kind of like the self-centered, and not only self-centered, that self-centered mixed with the different ignorance ideas. There are a lot of darkness in that mental view. So that is what here the ditti. It is just not just the mental view. It is not a kind of like you say, oh, I have idea. It is not like that. That when it come to this ditti, this mental view here, that the subjective sensuality, you bound to it, and no matter what, you're not going to give up that. You love it, you hold it to that, you bound to it. So that is the difference in between the ordinary view and here the speculative view. So when it come to this subjective sensuality, so always you love it and you become so fascinated about it, and you become so that the pleasant about it, and you always harboring it, holding it, protecting it. So that is the very nature of the subjective sensuality. And the other one is the doubt, the the doubt regarding that whatever you do. So that doubt, that you hold and you love it, you always keep it inside you, and you always harboring to the doubt. So whatever happened, you bring it as a tool to analyze the world. So that is the danger. And the other one is the mental tofa, the mental laziness, mental sleepiness. That, it's kind of like the he act like the ordinary person, but mentally he's not there. He always mentally sleeping, mentally lazy, maybe physically so strong, healthy, but mentally so weak. And the thing is, that person like that and hold it to it, and harboring his mind to that nature, don't want to get out of it. Just imagine, you can help to anyone if that person need the help. Otherwise, you cannot help. So that is the danger with this subjective sensuality. Because when the person get into this kind of mentality, it is very difficult for someone to help that kind of person. So another one is restlessness. Restlessness is always that cannot stay calm, relaxed, comfortable, always moving and making busy himself or herself, always make busy and cannot calm down, cannot cool down. And that person like it. Even while sleeping, that person moving here and there. And if sit, and no one can sit around that person. And kicking, moving hands, so doing things, throwing things here and there. So like that. It always busy, busy, busy. That person like it. So that's why there are some people, they cannot calm down, they cannot relax. Even they just cannot close their eyes. They feel depressed. So like that. Another one is that the shamelessness. Shamelessness is a kind of like they don't have any fear regarding wrong things or bad things. They always like to break whatever the social ideas or whatever good or bad that the society or the culture tradition, they always break it. And they always like to break rules and enjoy it. So once the person attached to that kind of quality, remember, it is very difficult to develop that kind of mind. And the 10th one, lack of morality, or the unconsciousness. So that also kind of like a mental quality, and people attach this, all the mental qualities people attach, and they hold it to it, and they get nourished out of it, they feel good out of it, and people love to be with that. And the thing is, when they find that kind of mindset with another person, and they also get connect. And the beauty is this, remember this, that as example, greedy person and greedy person can connect each other, it is okay, then you know, because he's that person greedy, this person greedy, they're both going to be together, it is normal. But the danger is this, that if you have one of this, one of out of this 10, one of this subjective sensuality, danger is this, you can get connect with any other out of that you have one, maybe other 9, out of that 9, any other subjective sensuality, if another person you find, you become friend, you become friend. That is the danger. So see, then in case if you hold it to one, there is a more than 100% possibility you have that opportunity to attract another subjective sensual person. That is that is the danger. Why? Because once you get into you start very easily, your mind start to get that quality. As example, there is a greedy person, and then there is a that the mental thought or mentally lazy person. So these two people very easily become friends. And not only that, so you had the greed, and then this mental lazy person, once it become a friend, you get the greediness, and then also you very easily you transform to mental lazy person. So other person meant that he's mentally lazy, and then once that person become friend with the greedy person, very easily that person become a greedy person. So like that out of this 10, anyone if you find right away, somehow it's kind of like the chemistry. So if we say, the body chemistry, this is the mental chemistry that you get the people each other together. So you have to be very careful. How about, greedy person and the ignorance person come together? Just imagine husband and wife, greedy person, ignorance person, married. Then what will happen? Where are you going to end? It's the same thing when it comes to the other side, the generous person and the compassion person. It's not only for this side. That's why you have opportunity also. When you hold it to one good quality, what will happen? That good quality have opportunity to invite another good quality person to you. So then at the same time, if you hold it to the dark or the unprofitable quality, remember that that quality has power to invite another quality. So that is the danger. So once you know that, then you more than the outside, because outside world only 5 things with whatever eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, that 5 things, whatever that come to as a perception, the what happened, that when something come to your eye, that the cognizable something come to your eye, then what will happen? With that cognition, you start to feel desirable, cherishable, and pleasant, lovely, and then you attach. And whatever come to your ear as perception, if it is cognizable, then what that's mean, with your eye, the sound, why the cognizable should be, because as you know, for as human being, there is a limit that we can see. There is a that the limit we can hear. The so like that. Beyond that we cannot. So then, even though there is a sound exist, but it has no power to bring that kind of like create the cognize. So that's why it should be cognizable. So it should be the right range. And then whenever come to your ear as sound, and then what will happen? It bring the desire. It cherish you. Plus, it feel pleasant and lovely. And then you hold it to that. So that is the objective sensuality. That is the very nature of the objective sensuality. So that as a smell, something come to you, and if it is cognizable, and out of that cognition, what will happen? If the desire arise, and if it is cherishable, and the pleasant and lovely, and then you hold it to that. And then with the taste also the same. If it is cognizable, otherwise when there is if you don't feel that as a taste, then it disappears. It's not going to be your objective sensuality. So if it is cognizable, what will happen? Then it's going to bring the desire and the cherish and the pleasant and the lovely. So then you hold it to that. Feeling also the same. There are many feelings, but that feeling may be not strong to cognize inside. So there are some feelings, it is strong enough to cognize. So if it is cognizable, otherwise not the feeling. So that's why, see how here the Buddha very clearly explained, it should be cognizable. So then whatever the feelings come, if it is cognizable out of that feeling, if it is desirable and the cherishable and the pleasant, and it bring the love, that become objective sensuality. So then that five, if it is cognizable out of your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, cognizable, and out of that cognition, if it is the desirable and cherishable and pleasant, lovely, and then it's going to become objective sensuality. So these five also interconnected. And it's when this all these five things match each other, and it's in a physical way we call it the flow. When somebody dance, with that dancing that you see, and at the same time if the music go nice, and if that both match, and then the smell and the around the environment, this everything, and maybe the food, then and then you say, oh, that party was so good, it is so pleasant, lovely. So like that, whatever you say lovely out of the the outside experience, so that is the objective sensuality. Get out of it is very easy. Long before the Buddha, people used to get out of that. In certain way, being disciplined, we can get out of it. But remember that the subjective sensuality, it is by mindfully you have to get out of it. seeing yourself get out of it. That is more and more blissful, higher than this outside, that the objective sensuality. But in the world, we mostly appreciate, and we were mostly worship, and we mostly practice this objective sensuality, getting out of the objective sensuality. But to purify yourself, you have to practice with the subjective sensuality also. Remember that subjective sensuality, not only five, there are 10. All the mental qualities of the defilements. And not only that, if you have one thing, there is a possibility that it's going to invite the all other nine around you. So in day-to-day life, and put some attention. That is the best way. Put some attention to yourself. And whenever you have opportunity, and try to develop the opposite side of that subjective sensuality, and try to develop the good things in your heart as much as you can. Start with the little things. So that little practice, and even becoming generous, and practicing loving kindness, and even developing the mental effort. So that even that little things will help for you. So that little help that you start yourself going to go with you, and that is going to be the help for you. That going to be the help in case when something else from the negative things once start to come towards you, that whatever you practice, even it is a little thing, you can hold it to that. You can harbor into it. You can depend on it. You can put the trust on it. So that going to become your protection. Look at that monk. Even that his previous wife and that the husband and start to come and kill. And his mind, he never had any kind of the anger. And what he did, he started to practice meditation. And out of that practice, what happened? Even that thief and all other transform. How this happened? See this, remember, that's why when you develop one good quality, it start to transform to others. The same thing happen. When you have the anger, remember it is just not only you. And you become kind of like that the signal tower. It start to go everywhere around you. So kind of like the telephone signal towers, you know, the internet towers that you see only one tower cover entire area. Same like. So don't become kind of like that person for your anger, hatred, jealousy, sloth and thought. So this kind of mental defilement. Don't be a human tower. Wherever you go, everybody become angry. Wherever you go, everybody become greedy. No. Be a tower yourself with the loving kindness, generosity, compassion, with the good thoughts. Wherever you go, help others to transform to good. You can do that. How you can do that? And start to practice little bit inside you, mindfully. Keep it always in your mind and get help out of it. When other people make you angry, when you feel sad, sorry, worry, and slowly get into that thought and develop it inside you. And then you will see day by day, the mindset going to become strong. And when you become strong and unshakable, and there is a way, other people start to transform around you. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassutu mate bhavattantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cha ammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idammi punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.